What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Heavy Reel Brewing Company, and they're out of Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and this is their Drowning Clown. So this is Double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is because it does not have a canned on date. However, I do know that it's quite fresh, and that's because this one was sent to me by the Heavy Reel Brewing Company, more specifically Jeff from the Heavy Reel Brewing Company. So huge thanks to them for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they sent my way. And they sent me 9 beers along with a t-shirt and some stickers, and this was one of 2 hop forward beers they sent my way. Before this beer mail, I've only had heavily fruited sours from them. The first hop forward beer I had was their Sun Goddess. It was a 7.2% New England style IPA. Very different, unique, but also quite tasty. So I thought I would get into this one right after that beer, although I'll probably split up when I post them. So you might see this like a month or 2 after that, and I'll spread in some other reviews from them. But anyway, this one is on Untapped. They list this as being like heavily hopped with Citra and Mosaic hops. Outside of that, I don't know much about it, other than I did see a couple good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike, over at FLX Beer Reviews. They reviewed this one, I think it was like last summer. I remember them reviewing it, enjoying it. I don't remember specifics about it, but I remember them having it. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to pour this into the glass here. This is the second most checked in beer from Heavy Reel on Untapped, which would mean this is probably a rotating, maybe even like a flagship offering from them. I really don't know, but if it is the second most checked in beer, it's probably one of the beers that they brew the most often. That, my friends, is a beautiful pour. That looks fantastic. It has that beautiful yellow-orange color, very murky, very turbid. Can't see through it as opaque. Almost 2 fingers of this super creamy off-white colored head. Looks absolutely fucking fantastic. That right there, that pour looks fantastic, no doubt. Anyway, let's get a nose as I inhale the head. Nice. Ooh. All right, hang on. It's starting to open up. Oh. There is a shit ton of sweet, tropical, and stone fruit in this one. Pineapple. There's like this honeydew melon, papaya, kind of like fleshy fruit. Peach. I haven't used this note in a long time, or this saying. A tropical fruit bowl of awesomeness. That's what I'm getting in the nose. It just has a sweeter, stickier kind of like tropical and stone fruit vibe. Some orange juice, juicy vibes as well. Maybe some apricot. A little bit of mixed berry. Man, this is a fruit bowl. There's not much else. Maybe a touch of like this slight like earthy kind of dankness. This is all about sweet, sticky, tropical, and stone fruits. Not much more to say about it. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Jeff. Maybe it's their MO. Maybe it's what they're kind of going for, but this is very similar to that Sun Goddess in that there is this earthy, green, vegetal finish that isn't a hop burn, but it's definitely the same kind of, maybe it's the yeast they use, maybe the water profile, but something is very similar with their beers. Like, it has that big, sweet, sticky kind of fruitiness up front, but that finish really does, it's the hero of the beer. Shout out to Kyle over New High Beer Reviews, where it just like brings everything together. Another sip. Buying this is a little bit thinner than I thought, but still pretty big. It's like medium touch over medium, but it's 8%. So I was thinking, based on the Sun Goddess, this would be like definite firm higher side of medium, lower side of full. I do like that it's a little bit thinner from what I anticipated because it makes it more infinitely drinkable, but it has a little bit of thinness to it. Mouthfeel sensational, super soft. It's like mild to moderately carbonated, but it's a little bit softer, just like on the palate. It's smooth, it has a nice creaminess to it. Mouthfeel is better than the body, but both are really nice, but the mouthfeel is stands out here. The taste, pretty much what I said in the nose. The first half to 3/4 of the palate, sweet, sticky fruit vibe. It's sweet pineapple. It's over-ripened peach, almost like a peaches and cream thing. Orange juice. There's some of that papaya and honeydew melon, like fleshy, over-ripened versions of those. Maybe even a touch of like a passion fruit in here. Halfway through the palate, the mixed berry comes to the forefront, but the finish is where it's almost like a honeydew melon rind. As you get closer to rind, it has that more earthy, under-ripened kind of feel to it. You know, you get to the white part of a honeydew melon, or even like a watermelon, where it's just like, it doesn't have the sweetness you associate with the melon itself. That's kind of what's happening on finish. It has this drying, earthy, floral kind of just like hop character that also produces like a mild to moderate bitterness, but the dryness is bone dry. It's bone dry, mild to moderate bitterness. Really, the dryness helps out this beer as far as like, you know, really, I don't want to say saving it, but like making it somewhat balanced. 8%, I forgot this is 8%. Like, again, the body would indicate a little bit lower. I would guess like 7.5. I was doing this blind, so it really hides the ABV well. But if you're somebody who wants an 8% beer to drink like an 8% beer, this drinks like a 7.5% beer, honestly. And the glass lacing is pretty fantastic. This is good. I will say I'm a little bit more, I think, impressed by the Sun Goddess because it was more unique. It was only 7.2%, and I think it produced kind of the same qualities I'm getting out of this one. It's a good beer. Don't get me wrong. This is really tasty. But I think I like the Sun Goddess just slightly more because it was a little bit lower in ABV. I think maybe a little bit more complexity, or maybe just a little bit more what I'm looking for. But this is still really nice. So the first two hop-forward beers I've had from Heavy Reel, pretty damn good. Yeah, this is dare I say a crushable double IPA, and I don't say that often, but that could crush this. Yeah, I think their MO for me off of the two beers that he sent me, and maybe it's not their MO, maybe it's just one of those things where like I'm picking up on it, but they definitely do have on the finish an earthy floral kind of like green vegetal, like tomato stalk, tomato vine walking through a garden kind of finish, and that's what I'm picking up on here. And I'm here for it because it's something unique or different in a sea of haze where everything's gobs of fruit, super sweet, no dryness, no bitterness. The finish might have a little bit of like an earthiness, whatever. This brings something unique to the table, again, much in line with their Sun Goddess, but this is really good, and I enjoy it. Not as good as the Sun Goddess, but just under Sun Goddess. I think I gave Sun Goddess a 4.2, I think. But anyway, I'm going to give Heavy Reel's A Drowning Clown a low 4.25 and go 4.15. I think this is really nice. And again, if this is like one of their more core / year-round / rotating offerings, I can see why. If you want something in the double IPA realm, I think this would fit the bill for what you're looking for. At least it fits the bill for what I'm looking for. So 4.15 out of 5. Price point availability, I have no idea. It's Heavy Reel, so I don't know if they have it on their website or whatever. I would hope that this is not more than $20 a 4-pack, but more than that, like the $18 to $20 realm would be cool. It is a double IPA, 8%. It is what it is. And availability, no idea with Heavy Reel, although the guys over at FLX reviewed this. I think we see this occasionally when Heavy Reel drops beers here in the Buffalo, New York area, more specifically the Western New York area. So again, it's the second most checked in beer on tap for them. So I'd imagine this is one that they definitely release quite a bit. And as you can see, they have the clown with the X'd out eyes. The shirt they sent me also has the same logo 3 times on the back. So it's one of those things where I think that's kind of like their MO for the name of their brewery and whatnot. So yeah, I think this is really good. Awesome mouthfeel. Body's a little bit thin, but I think it works. And then the flavors are awesome, but it's such a unique kind of experience here that I haven't really experienced it too often with other breweries. So I like that earthy tomato vine, tomato stalk, green, walking through a garden thing. I don't get that too often, and when I do, I get kind of excited about it. So if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. And once again, huge thanks to Jeff from Heavy Reel for all the beers he sent my way. He said, I'll review whatever you want. I'm going to review everything, but I wanted to get the hop forward beers out of the way. Then we'll dive into the heavily fruited sours and that Jersey C instead of Genesee, Jersey C cream ale that he sent. And I'm going to kind of compare it in that review to Genesee cream ale because that's kind of what they're going for. the whole label, everything, the actual style and everything. They're trying to make a Jenny clone, and we'll see how close they came. So anyway, appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.